The most important statistic in the entire world right now is the inflation number in the United States, and we just got it for the month of March. The US inflation rate is 8.5% year over year. It's the highest inflation in more than 40 years. But 8.5% just isn't a high number. The underlying fundamentals of this number are very, very concerning. If we take a look here, we can see that the March number is the fastest monthly inflation number of the pandemic era since 2020. And if we go ahead and we take a look here, we can see that this is the longest inflation surge in decades, and there is no stopping it. If we go ahead and we take a look around the world, how is the US inflation stacking up against other countries? Maybe they're all worse. No. The United States is only better than Netherlands, Spain, Poland, Brazil, Russia, Argentina, Turkey, and Venezuela. And if you actually look at the real inflation rate in the United States, we are in bad shape. So what exactly is driving 8.5% CPI? Well, let's take a look at the individual baskets and see how each one of these goods or services is increasing in price. We can see gasoline is up 48%, meats, fish, eggs up 13%, electricity up 11%, food at home up 10%, transportation up 7.7%, and shelter up 5%. Now, the reason why this is so crazy is if you think of the idea that food at home is up 10%. That means the average American family is paying 10% more today to eat at home than they were just a year ago. There are not many families who can withstand that for a very long period of time. But it's not just food at home. If we then go ahead and we take a look at the shelter inside of this inflation calculation, it's absolutely bonkers. As Charlie Bolillo says here, shelter's the single biggest component of CPI. It's 33% of the index, and it is only being estimated at 5% year over year growth. But the problem is that rents are up 17% and home prices are up 19%. So how can rent be up 17% and home prices up 19%? But the calculation of CPI says it's only up 5%. I'm not a mathematician, but those numbers don't add up. And so if shelter's actually up way more than 5%, maybe even in the teens, that means that inflation isn't 8.5% in America. It's likely in double digits. So if we then take a look, Heather Long points out here perfectly. Inflation hit 8.5%, the highest since 1981. Gas prices accounting for half of this spike, and rising food and rent prices also hurt. But wages, the amount that people are getting paid, is only up 5.6% in the past year, and it is not keeping up with inflation. We can take a look here. We can see that the U.S. average hourly earnings is up plus 11.1% since February of 2020. But the U.S. real average hourly earnings is flat from February 20 to March 22. And so regardless of what's happening with inflation, if people aren't getting paid more at a faster rate than the inflation, they're getting paid less in purchasing power terms. That means that not only is inflation hurting them, but they're actually not just getting their savings eroded away. They're getting paid less on an hourly or daily basis as well. It's a big problem. And so another question is, how long can the inflation go on? Can it go on forever? Well, this blue line here shows from January of 1972. That's what inflation did. And this red line here, ladies and gentlemen, that's showing from January of 2020. Big problem. And so, of course, you can ask yourself, why is this happening? And I know that the White House, the current administration, they keep calling it the Putin price hike. That's just stupid. What do I mean? Well, if we take a look at the inflation, we can see that the inflation has exploded since January of 2021. And see up there in the top right, way at the end, that's when Putin and Russia invaded Ukraine. I don't think that all that growth in the inflation rate was due to Putin and Russia. Maybe it's more due to the current administration and the undisciplined monetary and fiscal policies that they've put in place. It looks pretty bad. My greatest fear is that it's only going to get worse. Make sure you share this video with your friends. We need everyone in the world to understand inflation eats your purchasing power. Inflation hurts you. You have to understand this stuff. You have to be educated, and you have to protect your financial assets. Hey you, did you like this video? Great, we make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and see you next time.